How did Halsey's intricate and deeply personal rollout for the Great Impersonator shape its legacy? Let's talk about it. Halsey is an American singer-songwriter who quickly rose to fame with her debut album Badlands, which was released in 2015. Halsey quickly established herself as a unique voice in the music industry, blending elements of pop, alternative, and indie music. Beyond her music, Halsey is known for her artistry, activism, and authenticity. Halsey's fifth studio album, The Great Impersonator, was released on October 25, 2024, and is her first album released under Columbia Records after she left Capitol Records in 2023. The Great Impersonator is a deeply personal album that reflects on Halsey's personal struggles with her health and her relationships with herself, fame, and others. Leading up to the release of the album, Halsey posted a series of photos on Instagram, releasing photos of herself impersonating a different musical icon every day. The Great Impersonator's rollout showcased Halsey's ability to blend personal storytelling with creative marketing, offering a roadmap for artists in today's ever-evolving music industry. The music industry in 2024 is defined by a rapidly evolving digital landscape, where streaming platforms dominate the ways we consume music. Streaming not only impacts how music is accessed, but also influences how artists promote and release their work. Alongside streaming, social media platforms have become essential tools for music promotion. Artists no longer just release music. They build entire personas, interact directly with fans, and use these platforms to share their creative processes, personal moments, and behind-the-scenes glimpses into their lives. Halsey has excelled at using social media to cultivate a connection with her audience. Their ability to share personal stories, opinions, and activism on social media allows her to break down some of the barriers between the artist and the fan. Fans of Halsey know all about her Tumblr era, where she posted under the username 17black. Her most well-known post from this era is her poem that eventually became the lyrics of her song Colors. Halsey's use of direct engagement with her fans, combined with their powerful messages and authenticity, has helped solidify Halsey as more than just a pop star. They're seen as a voice for marginalized communities and mental health awareness, and often speak out about the limitations of the industry's commercial expectations, artist rights, and the often exploitative nature of the streaming revenue model. The way The Great Impersonator was marketed not only built hype for the album, but also reinforced Halsey's reputation as a creative visionary. Understanding this rollout and all the aspects that went into it can give us insight into modern album marketing and artistic storytelling. Halsey's rollout for The Great Impersonator was far more than a promotional campaign. It was a narrative journey that engaged fans, drawing them to the album's theme of identity, self-actualization, and transformation. Halsey's willingness to focus on authenticity over commercial appeal may inspire other artists to prioritize creativity in their releases. Her rollout of The Great Impersonator drew in fans and non-fans to the artist's social media pages, as people were super excited to see which icon she impersonated next and to hear the songs that went along with the impersonations. Halsey initially envisioned the album as a confessional concept album, and actually believed that it would be her final project after being diagnosed with lupus and a rare T-cell disorder. It contains reflections about her personal struggles with life, death, motherhood, and fame. The album was written and co-produced by Alex G, Michael Ozururu, who has worked with SZA, Frank Ocean, and FKA Twigs, Greg Kurstin, Tyler Johnson, and Emil Haney. The Great Impersonator was recorded between 2022 and 2024, and was initially meant to be released on the same day as the anniversary of Halsey's debut EP, Room 93. However, the release had to be moved up by 2 days. Halsey stated that after her diagnosis, she felt detached from her body, as if she was impersonating herself. This is where the concept for The Great Impersonator came from. Throughout the album, Halsey explores how her music would have sounded had she debuted in a different decade, from the 1970s to the 2000s, drawing inspiration from musical icons from each decade, such as David Bowie, Fiona Apple, and Dolly Parton. Halsey has described the album as a reflection of transformation and detachments stemming from her health struggles. In a promotional statement reminiscent of P.T. Barnum's advertisements for his circus show, Halsey invited fans to witness the uncanny ability of a woman who can become anyone, anything your heart desires, and warns them to beware of the Great Impersonator. The Great Impersonator was first teased alongside the single The End on June 4th, followed by the second single Lonely is the Muse on August 15th. Halsey announced the album on August 27th with the release of the album trailer, which featured shots of modern-day Halsey cut to clips of her modeling different outfits and hairstyles from different decades. In the trailer, she asks, "What if I debuted in the early 2000s? The 90s? The 80s? The 70s? Am I still Halsey every time? In every timeline, do I still get sick? Do I become a mom? Am I happy? I spent half my life being someone else. I never stopped to ask myself, if it all ended right now, is this a person you'd be proud to leave behind? Is it even you?" The trailer also featured snippets of Lucky, Ego, and Panic Attack. Following the announcement, Halsey initiated a global scavenger hunt on September 3rd to reveal the primary and alternate album covers. Fans from 5 cities, London, New York, Toronto, Los Angeles, and Sydney, located time capsules hidden in their respective cities based on the clues posted by Halsey. The next city's clues were not revealed until the previous city's time capsule had been found. Following the scavenger hunt, the third single, Ego, was released on September 6th. A photo project on Halsey's social media, initiated on October 8th, served as a countdown leading up to the album's release on October 25th. Throughout the social media campaign, Halsey released photos of herself impersonating a different icon every day and teased a snippet of the song they inspired, starting with Dolly Parton, who inspired her song Hometown. Her other notable impersonations include Stevie Nicks for her song Panic Attack, Britney Spears for her interpolated song Lucky, and David Bowie for her song Darwinism. Halsey also impersonated Amy Lee of Evanescence for her song Lonely is the Muse, herself from her Badlands album cover for her song Hurt Feelings, Fiona Apple for her song Arsonist, Marilyn Monroe for her song The Only Girl Living in LA, and Bjork for the title track The Great Impersonator. Fans appreciated Halsey's impersonations of musical icons and even sparked a trend on X where they used AI to create their own Halsey impersonations of their favorite artists, including Ariana Grande and Sabrina Carpenter. During the promotion for her album, Halsey performed Ego at the iHeartRadio Music Festival and the MTV Music Video Awards. She also performed at Flow Festival in Finland, singing several songs from her previous albums, as well as Lucky and a snippet of Lonely is the Muse. During release week, Halsey released digital exclusive versions of her album, with each featuring a different exclusive bonus track. Halsey also held a release day performance in Brooklyn on October 25th. On October 26th, Halsey announced that she would be dropping different time-traveling live performances of songs off The Great Impersonator. First, she released her performance of Panic Attack on Vivo Live. She held another intimate show in Austin, Texas on the 27th. Halsey also held a listening party for the album on Station Head on October 28th. Her second Vivo Live performance was also released that day, where she performed the Dolly Parton-inspired song Hometown. Her third Vivo Live performance was on October 29th, where she sang the 90s garage band-inspired song Ego. Her fourth and final Vivo Live performance was posted on October 30th, where she performed Lonely is the Muse. On Halloween, Halsey performed at Amazon Music Live, and this performance is now available to stream on demand on Amazon Prime Video. Halsey also went on Alex Cooper's podcast, Call Her Daddy, where topics of discussion included power dynamics and toxic relationships, 2 themes commonly explored throughout her music. Fan reactions to the live performances were widely positive, and many fans expressed their desire to see Halsey live on tour, especially if she were to perform some of her older songs like she did at these performances. While fan reactions to the album were largely positive, critical reviews ranged from high praise for the album's exploration of personal themes to critiques of its execution. Neil Z. Young of AllMusic said, "Halsey comes full circle, connecting her own youth and innocence with the intimate adult ruminations on parenthood, aging, and legacy." Caitlin Chatterton of Clash called the album both deeply personal and sharply relevant to wider pop culture, quietly contributing to conversations being had by and about Chappell Roan, as well as those that have followed the death of Liam Payne. Rob Sheffield of the Rolling Stone called The Great Impersonator the bleakest music Halsey has ever made, and that's saying something. Rachel R. Carroll of Pop Matters said the album Rollout was one of the most unique in recent memory, and pointed out the lack of commercial songs, saying, "This is not an album designed to be a chart topper. It's a masterclass in the way we use art to survive, which is to say, a masterclass in honesty. The most publicized review came from Shaw D'Souza of Pitchfork, who said that much of The Great Impersonator does feel like it's designed to position Halsey as a tortured, singular artist, and that Halsey is not great at channeling artists gone by. He also asks, is it enough, as The Great Impersonator so clearly wants us to believe, to say that you've suffered for your art and your fans and call it a day? Halsey responded to several reviews, both positive and negative, on social media, but her most notable response was to D'Souza, where she edited the review to show only the positive statements he wrote and said, "I think it's so beautiful that everyone interprets things differently." The Great Impersonator debuted at number 2 on the Billboard Top 200, following Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator. This is Halsey's 5th consecutive album to chart within the number 2 spot. The Great Impersonator also debuted as a number 1 digital album, number 1 alternative albums, and at number 1 on iTunes. The album did prioritize artistry and storytelling over commercial success. Halsey said that she rarely thinks about charts and numbers when she's writing, but that it felt very sweet when they arrived. Halsey's rollout for The Great Impersonator demonstrated how promotion can enhance an album's narrative and emotional resonance. By focusing on authenticity and creative risk-taking, Halsey redefined what a successful rollout can look like. Halsey's rollout for The Great Impersonator was more than a promotional campaign. It was an extension of the album's deeply introspective themes. By merging creative marketing strategies with personal storytelling, Halsey crafted a narrative that engaged fans and newcomers alike, drawing attention to the album's exploration of identity and transformation. This cohesive strategy not only amplified the album's reach, but also reinforced Halsey's reputation as a visionary artist who prioritizes creativity and honesty over traditional metrics of success. Halsey's approach to the rollout of The Great Impersonator mirrors the evolving dynamics of the modern music industry. In today's era where social media and streaming platforms dominate, Halsey exemplified how artists can use these tools to create immersive experiences that go beyond the music itself. Her campaign demonstrates the power of blending personal narratives with innovative marketing to foster deeper connections with fans. For other artists, The Great Impersonator can serve as a reminder that authenticity, creativity, and storytelling can resonate even more strongly with artists than commercial appeal. Halsey's choice to impersonate the artists who inspired her reflects not only her admiration of their influence, but also her exploration of identity as a combination of those who have shaped us. Perhaps her truest self, which she has sought to display in The Great Impersonator, is a living impersonation of all the artistry, stories, and emotions that have defined her journey. Thank you and good night.